because far too many, especially Black students, are graduating without reading on grade level, and that must change. So with that focus on literacy, is that because is it, at least in part because of the challenges that you had, and it just gave you that fire in terms of the work you do now?
Listen, I remember, and I talk about it in my book, I remember getting my first ELA paperback, and I stayed up all night trying to write this 1-page paper for ELA 101. I got the paperback, Principal Kafele, and it had so much red. I said, "Oh, this is good. This is the blood of Jesus. I'm a church man." No, they killed my paper. I went back to my room, and I remember me crying because I felt so inadequate. I actually felt like, dog, man, they tricked me, man. Because how did I get to this point where I had a 3.0 in high school and got all the way through, and now I'm at this college in New York and I can't even do a doggone paper? I'm crying. I promise you I'll do right. Man, I started reading the Bible. And then what happened was, in that process, and then in people believing me, man, I started to even self-teach myself how to write an introduction, a thesis statement, a body, and conclusion. But it was birthed out of that disappointment and that pain. 87% of Black children are going to graduate high school this year not reading on grade level. 87%. That's suffocating for a young person to go and say, "I can't read this." I'd rather misbehave than to show you that I don't have the skills. And understand this and be clear about this. Reading is a skill. So for me, as a coach and as a principal, and whatever you want to title me as, I'm saying we need to make sure that our kids are put in the right position possible so they can learn how to read and be literate walking out of your building. If you've been the principal for 4 to 5 years and your school's still failing, hey, principal, where that mirror at, Principal Bailey? Put that mirror up. Because you the problem. But understand this, if you ain't never had a handicap like that, you might not be able to understand the pain that I have. Bianca had to say, my chair, she said, you don't know the difference between where, and where? I didn't know, man. So somebody had to show me little by little and break it down and be patient with me and said, you're not going to fail this. You're going to succeed as long as you stick with it. And then that's why I am right where I am right now.